Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu5 and I just got a comment on my most recent video about the Randall made knife and the bulk rivel knives, and I thought I'd make a video talking about it. Nothing against this dude. He simply said that copying a design is still stealing a design, and he wasn't too big of a fan of it. And I wanted to talk about this. Copying is different than counterfeiting. Counterfeiting is saying something that you're not. Copying is just reusing a design, even adding your own personal flair to it. It could be still be the same design, but still different in its makeup. The point is, in the knife industry, almost every single knife company copies something from another knife company. And you even see it in some custom knife makers as well. It's not that they're trying to pass off their knives as something that they're not. It's just one company sees something that's a good idea, they want to do it. Spyderco does it. Cold Steel does it. Columbia River Knife and Tool, Benchmade. What else? Even Randall made knives did it. You know, it's not necessarily a bad thing. The Randall made knife and the Blackjack, they're effectively the same blade shape, same handle design as each other. Well, mine is a little bit different, but the Randall #1 and the Blackjack #1 are essentially the same knife, but they're really, really different. The Blackjack is a convex grind. The Randall's hollow. The Randall has a false edge. The Blackjack doesn't. Those steel differences. So they're really quite different, other than the silhouette. Colt Steel makes the Canadian belt knife, which was originally designed from another company. I can't remember the name of it, but that company still exists. Colt Steel actually copies quite a few designs. They copy a Randall #1. They copy the Bob Loveless Big Barrel. They copy the, what else is it? They copied the Ultralock and various historical swords. The Spyderco Black Talon. Oh no, it's the Cold Steel Black Talon, but it's really a copy of the Civilian. It just has Cold Steel's locking mechanism and handle, but the blade is essentially the same, and they admit that, and they say in the magazine that, or in their catalog, that they got permission from Spyderco to make it. Gerber and Columbia River Knife and Tool has some cross-pollination of the same design. Depending who you believe, either Bob Loveless or Lynn Thompson invented the Americanized Tanto, and almost everybody has their own version of that. Benchmade and Cold Steel had a very similar knife, the SRK, Survival Rescue Knife, and it was essentially the same knife. I mean, if you both blades were sterile and you handed them to someone, you could not tell them apart. But it was pretty clear that one was better than the other. Charade made a copy of a Chris Reeve knife, and actually, through testing, it might not have the best edge retention, but it was a survival knife, and but Charade actually made a tougher knife than Chris Reeve. Ah, man, almost every company does it. There's the Case Sodbuster. There's many different companies that make a Sodbuster type knife, a Trapper type knife, Swayback Jack type knife, the Italian Stiletto, not the medieval or Renaissance Stiletto, but I'm talking about the 50s era switchblade Stiletto. The list could go on and on. I just have to take some time to list them all. It's really running rampant in the knife industry, and it's not a bad thing. Each knife company does it but they add a little bit of their own personality to the design. Whether it's apparently visible from looking at it or not, really every company that copies a design puts a little bit of themselves in it as well. And whether it's a steel change or a grind change or a handle material change, and sometimes the copies end up being better than the originals. Now, I mentioned that Randall Made Knives did this as well, and they copied the Smithsonian buoy, which is a copy of the. They're not actually copying a knife company, but they're copying the from the movie The Iron Mistress. Randall Made Knife did not come up with that design, and it's not necessarily a historically correct design. It was a fictional design in a fictional movie that was based on historical events. And Randall Made Knife, they copied it, and they say it in their description in their catalog. Hey, this is the all version of the knife from the Iron Mistress, and they call it the Smithsonian because it's in the Smithsonian magazine. So really, the big difference between copying a design and counterfeiting a design, which I have no problems with copies, is that counterfeits claim to be something that's not. A counterfeit, let's just say, a counterfeit Randall Made knife would be made in some place other than the Randall shop, but it has the Randall logo, and it might be stock removal. It might not have the correct steel. The fit and finish isn't the same. It's pretty much degrading the name of Randall Made Knives. And the same thing with Cold Steel. A Cold Steel counterfeit is a knife that is completely identical to Cold Steel, and oftentimes the quality is not the same, but they label it Cold Steel knives, knowing that it's not a genuine Cold Steel, and they'll try to pass it off as a Cold Steel. So really, copying doesn't bother me at all. Counterfeiting does. I bought my brother a counterfeit knife because he asked for it for Christmas or his birthday, and he walked around with it, and he decided that it was a lie in his pocket, and he never carried it again. And the grind was better on the counterfeit than the original, which I got the original or the genuine knife. But the locking mechanism wasn't as good, and you could tell there was a quality difference. So, yeah. Also, when it comes to the Blackjack and the Randall Made knife, this viewer on my video mentioned that people stealing knife designs and making them in China for next to nothing and selling them, at a fraction of the price. I don't know if he was referring to the Blackjack, but the Blackjack is made in the US of A from Bulk River Knife and Tool. It's actually hand ground in the United States. It's a stock removal knife. It's not hand forged, but it's 100% made in America. So, it's really a pretty good quality piece. It is a fraction of the price of a Randall, but it's also the only thing that the Blackjack and the Randall have in common is the silhouette. If you were just to show the shadows of the two knives, they're exactly the same, but they're really different in a lot of respects. And I just wanted to point this out, make a video about it. I'm not hating on that commenter. I'm glad he left the comment, so I'd have time to explain this point of view. And hopefully we become, through this conversation that we're having, that we'll all get educated and we'll all learn from this. So I encourage comments. As long as they're civil, I have no problem with them. And I hope y'all have a great day. That's it. Before I start rambling, have a good day. God bless. And I'm Satsu5, and I'm out.